Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com. Certainly glad you've tuned in. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. This segment brought to you by Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, more than 12 locations here in Southwest Missouri, and Chevys all over the state of Missouri. Drive new roads, drive a Chevy. It's our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week segment. We go to Butler High School and head coach Gregg Webb. And Coach Webb, I appreciate your time today.
Well, thanks for having us.
Outstanding. And Coach, as I understand it, you're also the principal.
I am. Yeah, double duty a little bit. So, hey, so that's fun.
When you send a play in, it's not only come from the head coach, it's come from the principal. You better do ISS, let alone running laps.
Yeah, I'll take them to school and discipline them there if they don't do it right, I guess.
You bet. Coach, just a little background on Coach Webb. How long have you been at Butler, and where'd you come from, and how'd you end up there?
Wow, guy, that's a long story. It's I've been here 2 years. This is my second year. This is my 32nd year of head football. Been to 11 state championships, I guess, if you want to get down to. I have won 5, and kind of worked my way to Butler here for a lot of reasons, but it's exciting to be here. We've had some success. We went 10-1 last year. Had a really good senior class, and obviously the juniors were pretty good too because they're seniors now, and got it continuing to roll a little bit, 5-0 this year. So most of my time has been spent in Kansas. Most people in Missouri know Jackie Stiles, and Jackie Stiles was from Claflin, Kansas, and that's kind of where I started. I spent 15 years there, and then went to Eudora, Kansas, which is a 4A school outside of Lawrence, and then kind of got recruited to Independence and the city at Truman High School, and then kind of was going to get out of things. We're kind of winding down a little bit, so knew some guys at Gardner, Kansas, went back to Gardner, coached a little bit, and then this job came open last year, and it's about as far out of the city as I could have looked, but it's been a great location, great kids, good little community, kind of where I'm from. I grew up in a small town, so I'm very familiar with the rural, hardworking folks of Butler and Claflin, and I grew up in Tescott, Kansas. So I think it's a nice fit. I think it's a good fit.
Well, outstanding. Well, you guys obviously off to a tremendous start this year. You're 5-0. What do you feel like right now that the Butler Bears? What are you guys doing really well right now?
Well, from a coach's standpoint, my expectations are pretty high, and so we're always looking for that perfect game, and so if we don't block play right, or if we're not sound fundamentally and technically on defense, or we're getting penalties, which we have here recently, and we've dropped the ball a couple times and we fumbled the ball around a little bit too much, but I think probably the best thing about this team is they've learned how to win. They take great pride in playing hard, and our effort has been, for the most part, very, very good. We're not the most talented bunch in the world, but we kind of make up for a lot of that by doing things right, and just being very physical, and try to be as effort, as you know, is something that is not always an easy thing to get kids to understand, that they've got a little bit more in them than what they're giving. And if you can get a little bit more out of them and show them that that effort isn't very good and they can do better, and make them really feel good about doing something really, really hard. I mean, that's the most success. That's when you feel the best, is when something is not easy and it's very difficult, and you overcome that and you perform at that level. And I think that's what our kids have kind of grabbed onto, and I've kind of tried to instill, is that work ethic and that hard effort during every play. And it really does. We've wore some teams down, I think, a little bit late in games because of that effort and that pride. And so that's probably what we're doing as good as anything right now, is just playing really hard and physical football.
Well, the young man alongside you there, Patrick, had a big night, 41-16 win at Lincoln. And talk about a little bit about his performance, 445 yards, 6 touchdowns, and then he gets called to the principal's office this morning.
Yeah, he's had a great year. We knew he was going to be good, and I tried to tell our linemen they don't have to be great. They just have to kind of get in the way, and he kind of makes them right a lot of the time. A lot of, I know this is kind of a crazy thing, but I coached the all-time rushing leader in Kansas. He ran for 3,382 yards, had 50 touchdowns. And so I'm kind of I've had multiple kids with over 2,000 yards rushing. So it's not unfamiliar to me. We've coached some really good backs, and Brendin is right in that category. His feet are great. His instincts are great. He kind of runs through some tackles. Sometimes our linemen make him look really good because all he has to do is run. They're knocking them all down. But a lot of times the best backs, as we all know, the best backs make your linemen look awful good, because when they don't do the right thing, they're still able to get positive yards and make people miss and kind of defeat tacklers that we aren't accounting for or we haven't blocked successfully. And that's what he does really, really well. Plus the fact that he wants the ball. He can maneuver around a little bit to get the ball, and he's very intelligent. He knows where plays are hitting. He knows our blocking schemes, and it's fun to watch when he gets out in the open field. It's every time could go to the house, and so that's fun. It's really exciting for our linemen, our team, our community, and for sure me.
Well, Brendin, first off, on behalf of Great Southern Bank and Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, congratulations, Male Athlete of the Week here for Week 5. And tell us about your experience. Number one, did you realize that you were close to or going over 400? Do you have any idea how many yards you had?
Yeah, that I had 445, I think. I didn't think I was getting anywhere close to that, because I checked in with the stat girls like in between in the first quarter. I was like, you know how many I'm at? And they said like 150. I'm like, 150? That's crazy. And I kept checking in with them, and it kept getting a lot more. And I was like surprised as all get out, because I didn't think I was getting that many yards. I just kept running. I just kept doing what I did best, run the ball.
Well, Brendin, we're visiting with Butler Bears head football coach Gregg Webb and our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Male Athlete of the Week here. Brendin, do you, as you get ready for a game, what do you do? What's your preparation like? Is there a lot of film? Is there a lot of huddle, mental preparation, physical preparation? What do you do to get ready?
So Thursday's our little pregame thing where we watch film, go over what our responsibilities are for the game the next day. And I talk to my linemen. I give everyone a high five before the game. I say, let's go, let's turn up. And I talk to my linemen during the game and stuff. Keep doing what they're doing. And I wouldn't be going anywhere without them. And before the game, I get a good little stretch in, get my kickoff returns in, do my cuts. I like to cut and stuff in the open field. I'm running the ball back from kick, from kicker. So,
do you have? Are you on the sidelines telling coach, "Hey, I want the ball. Here's the play"? I mean, do you have a favorite play when it comes to the huddle that I can maybe break this one?
Yeah, I do. My favorite play would probably be G. We have a good play called G, and sometimes coach and I look at each other and we say the same play, and I know we're thinking of the same thing. And I knew that I was going to go to the house thinking of the same thing.
Now, running back, has this been your position since junior high?
I've played running back since flag football. I've played it all the way through. And my dad always knew I was going to be something special because I've been playing running back for a long time. I've been the feature back all through youth football, and flag. So yeah.
Now, do you have any play any defensive position?
I did play linebacker all through youth and junior high. Towards high school, I wasn't the biggest, so I didn't really get my time to play defense that much. So.
When you break the huddle, or you come out, you're looking at the line of scrimmage, what are things that you're keying on? What are, as a quarterback at the college level, I would always try and find where the safety was.
Yeah.
In the middle of the field, is it too deep? Where are the outside? Where's Mike at? Mike linebackers. What are you looking for when you come to the line of scrimmage?
Depending on the play, like if who our guard's gonna get, like depending on where he lines up, where if he's gonna wrap to him or kick him out, which path I need to take for it. Or if we're it depends on the play. If we're running ISO, you got to see where the hole is that's going to be opened up by a lineman.
Now, we'll go back to coach for a second. Now you've got a good Buffalo Bison team at home. They're 4-1 coming in here on Friday night to Butler. What do you guys need to do to take them down? Very good team. And folks, a lot of folks thought, well, they're going to be way down with and they lost a ton, but they're still having a good season.
They're very good. They're a scary team, especially offensively. They have 3 really talented backs that are really tough. They run a lot of misdirection and they're pulling kids all over the place, but they're not pulling the same kids. It's a tough scheme offensively for a defense to key on, and really most teams you can kind of set your linebackers and your D backs kind of understand what's coming and what they need to be looking at in order to make a play on a certain offensive play, what they're reading. But this team is different. They'll run naked. They'll run sweeps, pulling the guard and the tackle. They'll run sweeps, pulling the guard and the tight end. They'll pull. I mean, it's just nuts. There's nothing really to key in on. And they're so athletic that if you try to go one-on-one with them, that's a very difficult matchup for the defense. It's almost like Brendin, when we get him one-on-one with a safety or a linebacker, it's a win for us. And that's what we're really trying to do. It's not very often where you can block them all. And that's what they have in 3 kids, where they don't have to block all of you. All they got to do is just block some of you and then let the running back kind of win his matchup with the defender that's trying to be a Superman and tackle the little guy. So they've been rolling. They've only gotten better here lately. I think we can move it a little bit, but trying to slow them down is going to be very challenging. It ought to be another very interesting game as the game goes on. So we'll give it another shot. I'm glad we're playing them at home.
Yeah, indeed. And this is a Ozark Highlands matchup, as I understand. Is that the name of the new conference? I know there's been a little bit of confusion when conferences started changing and folks leaving the Ozark Conference, going to COC, leaving Mid Lakes, going to the Ozark Highlands. But this is a conference matchup.
Yes, it is. There's 5 teams in our conference: Warsaw, El Dorado, Buffalo, Sherwood, and Butler. So yeah, this is an important game as far as trying to win our conference. A couple of really good teams. Butler's pretty good, and then Warsaw obviously is very good. They're undefeated so far, and then Buffalo is another outstanding team. So very difficult conference, and we'll have to play really well the next 2 weeks to win that conference for the 2nd straight year.
And just as a matter of reference, we had the Warsaw interview, and you can go back and look at that, what Coach said about his young man, but he was certainly looking toward that week 7 matchup as well. But again, Brendin, on behalf of Great Southern Bank and Chevy University of the Ozarks, congratulations, male athlete of the week, and best of luck, and hopefully we'll get to catch up with you guys later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd love to.
Coach Webb, thank you.
Thank you, Guy.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Missouri Sports Network, where everyone has a home field advantage. Hey, keep it right here at Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, and we'll be back.